And, and, oh, there she is. Hey there, honey bun. Are you there? Elena. Anna. I, are you there? Can you hear me? Anna. Are you there, girl? So I'm trying to talk to Lana here. Lana. Woo. Lana. Maybe she butt dialed me. Lana. Okay. I'm gonna hang up here. I'm not hanging up on her. I'm gonna call her right back and see if I can get her. Uh, okay. Do. I think she did butt call me. It's ringing now and she ain't picking up. Do. Uh, no answer. Okay. Cancel. Cancel. Uh, oh. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. And I'm at my elevator music office. And I gave a interesting morning chat. And there were a bunch of you there and a bunch of you watched and listened. And I met a interesting guy yesterday. And, we had a great conversation. I recorded it, and I think that's going to be a new trend because lots of interesting people are coming into my life, and I'm going to sit them down and have interesting conversation. Once we get to it, say, "Oh, so listen, I want to play this, record this and play it on my YouTube channel. Would you mind? Can I do it?" And that's what I'm going to go for. And Lana just called, but I heard in the background rustling and voices that I couldn't understand, and I think she butt called me, and then I called her back, and she wasn't there. So let's take a new tact here, and so this is from Jimmy Dore, and he went on Tucker Frederick's show a couple of days ago, and here he is.
A lot of people got upset again. I went on Tucker Carlson yesterday, and people don't like that I talk to his audience. So, Jimmy, why do you go on Tucker Carlson? Because they won't invite me on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, any of the other ones. I will go bring the message anywhere they will have me. I'll go.
God forbid someone talk sense to the Republican side.
Yeah, God forbid. God forbid, because people have a caricature idea of what people on the left are. They think they're all these people who care more about identity politics than they care more about economics. And we're not.
I'll be right back.
That's a
Listen to Jimmy.
Democratic Party in corporate America. They've learned how to co-opt identity politics to keep you oppressed economically while seeming like good people. It's called virtue signaling while crushing everybody, and that's what the Democratic and Republican Party now they pretend that they care about you too. Like somehow they're starting to attract working class voters. But anyway, so I'll go anywhere to bring that message. So Tucker brings me on, and they're talking about how the Biden administration is blaming inflation on Putin. And so here we go. Now, are you giving a list of all the things Putin is doing? Russia's very powerful. They control a lot of things. They overthrew our government. They committed a coup on America. They control the gas prices, and Russia's responsible for our inflation. And let me just tell you, last time I checked, Russia couldn't get their good vodka into Trader Joe's. So I don't think they're really controlling everything like they say they are. Okay. The Democrats right now are in power. They have complete control of government, and like all politicians, they don't want to take the blame for anything. They want you to blame everybody and everything or anybody and anything for the pain that you're feeling right now, except blame them, the people with the power right now. And so that's why everything comes back to Putin, because Putin is a proxy for their Trump hate, right? And you said Larry Summers blamed January 6th on inflation, which is an old Clinton advisor. So what they don't want us to realize is that we have a unipolar government, right? So if you vote for Joe Biden on Goldman Sachs, if you Mitch McConnell, the same thing, you're voting for our and they don't want you to know that. And as soon as people wake up that we've been being screwed by the same billionaires that control Joe Biden, that control the Republican Party, that's what scares them. They don't want they don't want me on your show talking to your audience, telling them that people on the left, we smell a rat, and we know that Joe Biden is completely controlled by the oligarchy and the corporations. And right now, the American people are paying the price. What are we paying the price for? Not for Putin's inflation, not for Putin's gas hike. This is Joe Biden's invasion. This is NATO's invasion. This is Joe Biden's policies. These are Joe Biden's policies that are wrecking the dollar, that are propping up the ruble to it's stronger than it's ever been, and they're blaming a foreign country. Imagine if Trump did that. They'd be making jokes about it every night on the nightly news. Of course they're not. I mean, at the nightly talk show. But of course they're not. They're all coddling. You saw Jimmy Kimmel have to coddle that old man, the guy who probably got stuck in a couch before he left that place. This is, and you know Joe Biden's not making decisions. We all know that he's mentally impaired, and we all know that Kamala Harris isn't making those decisions because she also can't speak in clear sentences. So who is really running the country? Well, whoever runs the Democratic Party, which is a handful of billionaires, those are the ones. So if you're paying a higher price, they did a controlled demolition of our economy with the COVID lockdowns, and nobody wants to take responsibility for that. COVID lockdowns, which Johns Hopkins University proved saved 0 lives. They didn't make any impact on the death rate whatsoever. Right, so that they don't want to take responsibility for that. They want you to blame your neighbor. They won't want you to be angry at the oligarchs or Fauci or Big Pharma or the media that controls you, that makes you think that essential medicines are poison. They want you to blame your neighbor. And everybody is a Trumper or they're not. It's you're with us or against us, and that's the only message they have left. And then they have censorship left because they have failed, Tucker. Why do you think it is that Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer are the leaders in the House and Nancy in the Senate, and Nancy is the leader because they're not leaders. Those people have negative charisma. I wouldn't ask Chuck Schumer directions to the freeway. Why are they the leaders? Because they're the ones who take the most money from the billionaire class that actually runs this country. They take the money from them and they disperse it to the other members of Congress, so they vote for them as leader, not because they're leaders, but because they're the most corrupt. Is that true? Great, Jimmy Dore. Great to see you. Thank you. So, I don't know, is that a mistake to go on there, speak to half the country, the #1 news show in America, to bring that message? I'm going to have to say it's a good idea to do something like that. And I'm bringing the message of stop blaming your neighbor. Your neighbor is being oppressed and crushed by the same economic policies as you are. And so it's time to come together and stop blaming them and put your attention and your ire on the people who actually have power.
That's why you'll be banned from PayPal.
That's exactly right. And by the way, that Johns Hopkins I referenced there, they tried to discredit that, and none of the so I think it was like USA Today and other places, they didn't have a credible critique of it. Every critique of it was about not about the data. They would do stuff anyway. So that guy who wrote that study contacted me. He saw me on Tucker, and he said there's an update to that study. There's 3 pages of updates. I think you'd be interested in it. And so I did. I am interested in it. I read them. They are interesting, and I'll be sharing them with you on Monday. How about that? And what was that Johns Hopkins study about? Well, it was proved it sourced a bunch of other studies and found out that the effects of lockdowns were negligible. That at the most they saved maybe 10,000 lives in the United States. 74,000 people die of the flu every year. So it was a controlled demolition, which is a phrase that Matt Blumenthal used on the show, and I told him I was stealing it, and then I went right on there and did it. But I told him I was. So there you go. So I think it's smart to go on there. I'll go on any news show anytime to bring that message. Guess who's not asking me on? Guess who is? And they don't, anyway. So there you go. Here's what Glenn Greenwald says about it. He said, the best segment on Carlson's show last night was not mine above, but this one from Jimmy Dore on how Democrats continue to blame Russia and anyone else they can find for all their failures. I heard it on my earpiece watching, and it's even better to watch. Boy, that guy's good with the words.
Far-right journalist Glenn Greenwald.
Far-right crazy maniac. And he says at the bottom, note that on multiple occasions, Dore emphasizes it's the establishment wings of both the Democratic Party, Schumer and Pelosi, and the GOP, McConnell and McCarthy, who are in servitude to oligarchs and the corporate class. And Carlson repeatedly nods in agreement, a frequent point on that show.
I think it was the great Joy Behar who said,
Get over it. It was a long time ago. I do have a video of her saying that just the other day about inflation. She goes, inflation's going to come and go. This baby formula thing is going to come and go. But on democracy, that's forever. We don't, again, she's telling them, eat cake.
Maybe starve and live. She's saying cake will be around at some point. Don't even worry about cake. Worry about my democracy.
Worry about my peace of mind about hating Trump. I got to show people that video. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it without showing it. But, so there you go. There's me on Tucker Carlson. And you should ask yourself, why is that the only show willing to bring people like me or Glenn Greenwald or Aaron Mate or Max Blumenthal? Why is that the only show on television that's willing to bring us on? First of all, he doesn't have any commercials pretty much. He's lost all his advertisers. So that frees him up, actually, to do stuff like we just did. We were doing stand-up dates, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Chicago, Sacramento, and then San Diego, where I'm taping my new special. Go to
I drank this before bed and lowered my blood pressure by 26 points.
If you're struggling with high blood pressure and you're over 50, then you need to hear this.
Yes.
Big tech people
So they just put a fence around the entire hotel, Max. That's what they did. Bilderberger Burgers reconvenes in person after a 2-year pandemic gap.
They went on vacation.
But finally, it's just not the same trying to wreck the world over a Zoom. It's just not the same. You got to get together. So they got together. Do you know what the Bilderbergers are? After a pandemic gap of 2 years, they're an elite global summit. That's what the Bilderberg is, an elite global summit. It's being rebooted in a security-drenched hotel in Washington, D.C., with a high-powered guest list that includes the heads of NATO, the CIA, the GCHQ, oh, that sounds fun, the U.S. National Security Council, 2 European prime ministers, a healthy sprinkling of tech billionaires, and Henry Kissinger. Now,
Is WEF bullshit? Is WEF like for punks, and this is the good one? I mean, is that what that is?
I think so. I think the WPF must be there to distract you from this one. This is the real one. Back in 2019, the last time Bilderberg met in the flesh, the conference kicked off with the optimistic topics: a stable strategic order, and what's next for Europe. This year, however, the agenda reeks of chaos and crisis. Top of the schedule is the blandly terrifying item, global realignments, followed by NATO challenges, the biggest of which is obviously Ukraine. Other topics included Ghislaine Maxwell. Should she commit suicide on her own or with some help? Since when is everyone entitled to insulin? Another topic, Ukraine, more like our crane. Am I right? Okay. I need everyone in the room to focus on what I'm calling a joke. Kurt, if you could laugh at the jokes that you've written, that would be helpful to the segment. Usually the writer of the joke is the biggest laugher in the room. But you're doing the silent laugh today. Don't do that. Okay. You want to hear some more topics? At the Bilderberg, James Corden. Why did we make him a star again? That's another topic. Who do we got to bomb to have enough lithium? That was an afternoon session. Eyes wide open, the future of orgy masks. I can't wait to attend that one. No, seriously, just between us,
No
what is a
napkin.
woman? That's on the agenda.
There's a shortage around the world.
Bilderberg's going to decide what a woman is. To be sure, the Washington
I think
conference
the
is a high-level
world is
council
coming to an
of war,
end.
headlined by the Secretary General
Napkins are going first. Yep.
Bilderberg veteron Jens.
2 years ago it was toilet paper.
Stoltenberg. He's joined at the
Now it's napkins.
Jens. Oh, the name is Jens.
Yeah,
It's probably Jens. Okay, Jens. Okay.
Do you?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
There's a guy named Jimmy Dore. Do you know that name?
He's joined at the luxurious Mandarin
you.
Oriental Hotel.
Jens is every woman I went to
Oh,
college.
he's a comedian that makes
Come on.
more sense than
He's
any
joined at the
news guy
luxurious
around.
Mandarin Hotel, Oriental Hotel,
And he makes you laugh.
by the Ukrainian ambassador
It's a
to the
good thing.
U.S., Oksana Makarova, and the CEO of Natugaz, the state-owned
Well, that's
Ukrainian
why I have
oil
this
and
big
gas.
long
Really?
beard,
Come on, the
because
people that are
it
there.
gets a little longer. I'll be able to use
Wow,
it for toilet
yeah.
paper.
I think I had a joke. No? No.
You know I'm
God damn.
kidding.
Oh, yeah, I did.
He's helping, but I'm kidding.
No, these are all wrong.
So you guys,
Sorry.
tourists,
Very
or
unprofessional.
are you brunettes?
Very good.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, good. That's what you got to do.
Bilderberg. So here we are.
Why have a boyfriend if you can't work him to death?
So, okay. The conference room is rigged up with video screens for shy dignitaries to make a virtual
So have you always
attendance,
been a
and it's
brunette,
highly
a boon girl?
The Ukraine's president,
Boomerang.
Volodymyr Zelensky, will zoom in for a T-shirted contribution to the talk. I got to say, I do respect Zelensky for always being in a T-shirt.
When did you leave?
I don't know why that is, but he is. Just a few days beforehand, Zelensky met with a Bilderberg and U.S. intelligence representative, Alex Karp.
That's when this place was actually kind of nice. Now all you can smell is diesel and asphalt. Oh man, beyond belief. When the first time I came here was in '68, and I was on the AT, and it was a cute little town. Very, very nice. Kind of like as Banner Elk. Banner Elk was the same kind of cuteness. It had its own little college that kept it alive. And boy, now Banner Elk is a mobster, laundering money place. This whole corner of the Blue Ridge Appalachian, that's what it is. They're just laundering mobster money.
here in 95, we had 8,000 viewers.
I know. When I was here in the 70s, they only had 1,800.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. The major smell you could smell was honeysuckle. Now, like I said, it's diesel and asphalt. And you know those little houses downtown? I rented one and turned it into a little coffee house.
Yeah.
People would play old-timey music on the porch. We called it the Hippie Hill. So, Mr. Boyfriend, where are you from?
Live in Chattanooga.
Oh, that's a beautiful town. I like that.
I'm from North Carolina.
What part?
We went to school together.
Oh, here?
Part of it, yeah. Great school, too.
Oh. Oh, okay.
This is Morganton, just down the mountain.
Yeah. Like I said, I went to Duke late 60s, 70s, and I would hike all over this place. Take a Greyhound up to Asheville and just walk all over the place. And then I lived in Asheville from 91 to 99 when Asheville was amazing, just before it turned into the soulless hipster atrocity that it is.
Visit that.
But there was no one there. That's why it was so much fun. Just really interesting people. You know, the only people who were there were interesting folks and aliens, like not from other countries, but from other planets.
Nobody's from Asheville that lives in Asheville now.
Oh no, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. So, did you get the lobster, clam chowder?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was good. They have great soups here.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
this place.
yeah.
This is why I eat lunch at home a lot.
Yeah. This is I call it my elevator music office. You know, it's pretty good Wi-Fi. I have an audience, a little cube up there I can wave, and there's always interesting people like you to just have a nice little conversation. And these guys are the manager's quite nice in that he lets the homeless people hang out here, like in a down low kind of way. I'm not quite a homeless guy, but almost. I live in the woods, but I own it's my little woods. But I was instead of becoming a rich guy, I was a itinerant scholar. So when I was working, I did pretty good, but never saved anything, never bought anything, never invested anything. Because I kept seeing that the world was going to end relatively soon, any minute now, and it didn't quite do it. Still not going to do it. I mean, I've gotten to the point where, no, it's not going to happen. We're just going to be more and more annoyed. That's it. More annoyed. Well, you seem like an interesting couple. I mean, very opposites, but very much attracted.
Opposites.
Well, you know.
Too smart. I'm not that smart.
Well, my first wife used to call me, "You're just stupid smart." That's what I am. I'm stupid smart. And I've got good timing. That goes a long way. Anyway. So you just having fun, or are you on a mission?
You mean working?
Right now, this second. I mean, you just haven't.
Taking a break from working in the yard.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Do you have a garden?
Clearing out,
Right.
make my backyard.
Okay.
It was just a hill.
Yeah. I live in the mountains. Between Johnson City and here is the Sawtooth Mountain accordion between the Appalachian and Blue Ridge, and they got squished. So it does this. Have you ever taken 321 to Johnson City? The road does this.
Oh, yeah?
That's how I get it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, exactly. So you drive up 40, 81, and then turn on to 20. Yeah, exactly. That, other than the main drag, that town is actually quite nice.
They're downtown.
But it was, I mean, it could be something. I mean, it was something. I mean, it's still, the raw material is there. Those old buildings that are 4 or 5 stories high, they're kind of nice. If I had money, well, to now, it's not the right time. 20 years ago, I probably could have bought any of those buildings for 20 cents. But the rich people are coming in here like locusts. Up around Watauga Lake, where I live, it's sad because when I moved here 20 years ago, well, when I got my little square 20 years ago, it was all holler folk. I lived in a holler, and everyone's pretty much died of oxy. Died of OxyContin.
Oh.
And it's all. It wasn't illegal. The doctors gave it to them. Some guy broke his foot. Oh, here's some OxyContin. And now they're turning all those farms into gated communities. But my observation of everything, it always works out in the wash. When I was young, I used to, not so much. But it always works out in the wash. I do have a little YouTube channel that I commiserate on, tell stories. So what did you guys go to college for? I know what did you study?
Oh. I got a city management degree, but I never did.
Right. Mathematics. Advanced or utilitarian?
Well, I got the math undergrad and then got certified for secondary education. I taught high school. Now I'm a mathematics educator, professor there at Apple.
Oh.
I teach future teachers how to teach math.
Right. App is such at school. So I don't know, 10, 15 years ago when I was doing stuff, I went into see their president, whoever that was, and said, we've got a nice plant here, but everyone's brain dead. Don't you want to make it a little more interesting of a place? And he said, yeah, what? And so I wrote what to do to make this place like, wow, right? And he said, okay, that's cool. Go talk to everyone. And everyone I talked to, all the chairs of departments and professors, virtually everyone there was an adjunct. Yeah. They're all tenured professors?
We have to have a certain percentage of tenured professors for accreditation.
Uh-oh.
In the College of Ed.
Right. Just so it looks good. Right.
Because we can be as educated as possible for the students.
Right. But it isn't, because everything is academic rather than scholarly. Right. There's some good teachers there, but they keep their heads down. Where ETSU, that's a little more freewheeling, interesting. Did you ever go over there and hang with those folks?
Texas? No.
In Johnson City? Johnson City is definitely more interesting town than Boone. This town is just here to entertain the 30,000 students. I live right on the border in Tennessee. Yes. You know where Trash Can Falls is? When you were kids, did you ever go to Trash Can Falls?
No.
It's off of 321.
I'm smiling at Watauga River.
Yeah. It's Watauga River, but it's almost right. It's about 2-ish from the border, into North Carolina, and it's quite nice. They made it so a cripple like me can go. They have a parking lot, they have steps, and a little beach, and the wild, crazy kids go flying by in their canoes. I just soak my feet in the cold water.
We used to go caving in the caves in Johnson City.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you can still do that anymore.
No, they bricked them all up.
Can't go in anymore.
No. How about, did you go to the ones in Mountain City? Up along 421? There was some ones that went, if you're a real caver, they went in miles.
Yeah, that's where we used to go. I think.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's right in that little public parking
Yep,
area.
yep,
So
yeah,
it's-
yeah,
You have to walk the creek and you go in the mountain.
yep, yep.
Or you can go in the hole on the side of the hill.
Yep. That's, they bricked that all up.
They did.
Yeah, somebody's doing something weird down there.
There's a lot of possibilities going on back
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why states just don't legalize it. When Denver legalized it, the first month they opened for business, the state made $6 million the first month, and then they're making close to 30 million a month, and they got it down. Have you ever go to Colorado and
I just got back from LA. I don't like smelling it all the time.
oh, LA? Oh yes, I guess that.
You can't go anywhere. without
Anywhere
smelling.
without the smell, yes. I'm not a big fan. I like it once in a while, but like I said, smells like cigarettes. I don't mind tobacco, but smelling it all the time, I don't like that. Guns, I'm a big gun guy, and I'm not a good shot anymore. My wrists are shot, my eyes are shot, my ears. The thing I don't like about guns is the primer. It's I forgot what kind of chemical it is, but the smell of the primer of the bullet, ooh. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, you a gun guy?
Yeah, I love the smell.
Well, the primer of the bullet.
I like the smell of hockey ball.
Well, have fun.
Thank you.
Do well with your garden.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yes, brother.
Be good.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Yep. Boop, boop, boop. So that's how I get into interesting conversations. The guy was, I couldn't tease him out. Let's see, how long have we been on? 32 minutes. So we go back to Jimmy.
Who runs Plant Palantir, the infamous CIA-funded surveillance and data analyst company. Palantir, which was set up by billionaire Bilderberg insider Peter Thiel, has agreed to give digital support to the Ukrainian army, according to a tweet by the country's
Of course they
deputy
are.
prime minister. Wow, Palantir, that's named after that evil crystal ball from the Lord of the Rings that solely corrupts its users. Of course, that's just a fantasy novel. In real life, they started out evil and corrupt. Just keep that in mind. Bilderberg is sometimes dismissed as a talking shop or crazed imagining of conspiracy theorists. But in reality, it is a major diplomatic summit, attended this year as ever by extremely senior transatlantic politicians from the U.S. Commerce Secretary to the President of the European Council. Wow. You see, it's not a bunch of secret lizards. Lizards are actually less vicious and greedy. Max Blumenthal tweeted out, I attempted to enter DC's Mandarin Oriental Hotel's secret site of the Bilderberg meeting. CIA Director Burns, NSC Principal Sullivan and Campbell, Pfizer CEO Varula, Peter Thiel, Kissinger, and media elites are there to discuss Ukraine and the global economy, entirely off the record. Well, what's the big deal, Max? The most powerful people in the Western Hemisphere are just getting together to decide the fate of their hemisphere. Why don't you try working hard and buying your own hemisphere, Max Blumenthal, instead of tearing down job creators?
They're risk takers.
That's right.
They're definitely disruptors. They're disrupting their own economies. I mean,
So here is
disruptors. That's right.
That's why they call themselves disruptors. So here is Max trying to get into the hotel. It looks. I'm actually surprised you got to get this close. This is kind of so they got the fencing up, but the fence is open for a brief moment, and Max, the journalist, makes a break for it, and he gets all the way, and watch how far he gets.
I got past the bomb dog.
Oh, really? Because you didn't have a bomb. So they see him, now they got him. Hey,
Goon squad. Here comes the goon squad.
Is he have is it you can just open the window? Do I need a lanyard to go see reservations? So I need to
a white lanyard.
so you're just trying to walk into a hotel in DC and to go up to reservations, and they stop.
Okay. Here's Lana. So Lana, are you there? Lana.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, there you are. Well, I'm live chat, and I'm eating a bowl of soup, and I was watching Jimmy,
Alright.
and I was watching Jimmy Dore.
Alright.
Yep. So how you doing, babe? You still there?
Yep.
Okay. Is it? Are you in bed? Are you asleep? Or you called me a little earlier? Did you try and call me, or was that
Yeah,
a?
I know that, and then I just fucking bailed out. I was so tired.
Oh, okay. So you're tired.
Like, exhausted. I mean, like,
Okay. So what time is it there? About what? 11 p.m.
in Kosovo.
Oh, you're in Kosovo. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
what time is?
I just basically understand that I just don't fit in.
Oh, okay. So you've been traveling, or have you been there a while?
Not for 15 years.
No. I mean, you just went to Kosovo, right? So you traveled there from Sweden. So is today your travel day, or have you been there for a day or two?
And this is my first day weekend.
Okay, gotcha.
So figure everything shit out is impossible.
Well, that's pretty much it all the time. And I always have the impossible thrown at me. And I always try to look at it as an opportunity, right? And the impossible is you can't do that. You can't do that. I try to look at it as the potential of doing something you can't do. And if anybody can do something you can't do, you're the girl. You're my Xena warrior princess. So
well, even we crash sometimes.
Yeah. But that's part of life. It's not it's like I said, it's what it is. So we just go through it and make the most of it, and see what we can make out of it in its best characteristic. Like I said, being a opportunity.
How's the fun, John?
I have no idea. I really haven't talked to him. I haven't seen him. I don't look at his channel that much because it's always the same thing. It's like the same thing for the last 7 years. So there is no change. I mean, now there's a guy who has great opportunities. I mean, his parents dumped 20 grand every month into his bank account. And he could do anything. He lives in an amazing, beautiful place. He's got all the hardware to make movies, to make records, and he's got the talent. I mean, he can play those instruments amazingly. Everything he does really well, but all he does is complain. He blames other people. It reminds me of what's going on in the Ukraine. Everyone is blaming everyone else.
Yeah.
No one's taking responsibility. No one's stepping up. No one's doing their best. They're doing their worst.
Yeah, well, that kind of depends on what the fuck they were hearing right now.
Right. But you know what I mean. Both sides are, either side could fix this if they wanted to, You know, Putin didn't have to go into Ukraine if he just kept his troops right on the border and said, "Hey, there's a problem here." It could have gotten fixed. He could have gone into Donbass for the first 2 days and stopped and said, "Okay, see, I'm serious. Let's fix this." He did not have to do the crazy shit he's been doing. You know, there is
Crazy.
right,
That's crazy.
right, and there is no upside for him now. Conversely, the way NATO and all those guys, they are acting just as batshit, and they're actually making him money. He's making more money on oil and gas. Really loving this is the oil company really making money. You know, and same with the United States sent $250 billion with a T to the Ukraine in weapons. And Lockheed, Boeing, General Dynamic, all those Raytheon, all those guys are just, it's like Christmas time for them, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, like when I'm here in Kosovo, Pristina and everything is just red from my beyond, and I'm sick, tired, and can't deal with this. I don't know. It's annoying.
Yes, it's annoying. Yep, that's what it is. It's annoying.
Yep.
Like I said.
Yeah.
So how can we take this annoying situation and make it an opportunity to make something better?
Well, not really exhausted.
Well, one thing I see that is happening, any kind of make believe of a world that it used to be, we are starting to see behind the curtain that it isn't Mr. Putin at bad Mr. Putin or bad Mr. NATO or bad Mr. this. They're all on the same. They're all reading from the same script, and that people who are suffering are the poor innocent folk in between. And both sides, the Russians, if the Russian people just said, "No, I'm not fighting this war," those kids, they didn't even know they were going in there. But once they got there, they said, "Fuck this, I'm not doing this." But they did, right? And the same with the Ukrainians. They're doubling down, and if we just said no, just no, not going to do it. Sorry. And if everyone stopped driving their car and just took a train, I mean, there are a lot of things you could do that you really wouldn't have to really inconvenience yourself. And, but no one even thinks that way,
I know.
So I really love the fact, our last conversation, that you spoke up at how you felt. And what was really interesting was right when you were like letting me have it, the battery on my laptop died. So half the people on the cadre thought that I cut you off.
I know.
Yeah, that was. So this morning I kind of played this other tape. I met this guy who was like abducted by aliens, and he has stories like you can't believe. And they're first person. My stories, a lot of them are just what I've investigated, not what really happened. That I could say, yeah, I saw it. I was right there, right? I mean, half my stories I was right there, but the other half, no. This guy, all his stories were he was right there, and I kept having, unconsciously, I kept defining the narrative of the story, and the audio tape is great because it catches me doing that. And so when I played it last night, listened to it, I said, "Oh my God, Lana's right. Listen to me." So I played it, and explained what a bombastic moron I am. So, and that is going to be my new direction, because I keep bumping into these unbelievable people. I'm going to just take the time sit and listen to their story. And after I say, this is interesting, I'm going to bring out my little phone and say, can I record this so I can put it on my YouTube channel? Like the guy said, sure. Right. So that's going to be my new direction. I've been looking for a new direction of the show. And it's just amazing how not only did that one guy bump into me, but these other 4 other people who had other amazing stories. So I'm going to start looking for those stories, and I'm going to be premiering them, and I'm going to shut up. You know? So that's my new tact of the show. It's my new direction. So here you are. So here you are live on the live chat right now. Do you want to tell the YouTubers why you went to where you went and where you are and what you're thinking?
Of course.
Okay. Shoot.
Fine, Bob. I will shoot. So anyway, I'm here in Krista in Kosovo,
Mm-hmm.
and haven't been here for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
So tired,
Right.
jet lagged, and have to deal with shit I do not understand.
Is it
I'm like,
personal shit that you don't understand, or more?
it's not personal. I mean, like, I haven't been there for a long time, and interacting with people here, it's I'm a weird Albanian,
Right.
and I'm like good at that whole bullshit shit.
Right.
And that makes me bullshit, I guess. But I'll do my thing. And today I just fucking slept
Good.
on the table. And for real, on the table with a beautiful place. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But and then my mom just, where are you? Where are you? What relatives are here? I was just feeling like, okay, but yes, I don't understand everything, so you have to like be patient. It's a different, like, it's a different thing.
So what are the people? So you really haven't woken up. It's going to take you a day. First of all, how much? How long are you going to stay there? A week, 2 weeks, a month? How
9
long?
days.
9 days.
9 days.
Okay. So.
Yeah. And go to my roots.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
do you have an idea?
a bit weird.
Do you have an idea what you want to get out of this? Not like emotionally or spiritually or consciously awareing, like a light bulb over your head about what it is.
No, the thing is, just been jet lagged, haven't slept, and I'm exhausted and been here for a long time, and I just.
So why don't you just go to sleep for another 12 hours and wake up refreshed and able to.
Because right now I've been here for a while, and just basically, to be honest, I just. I just put my head on the table and then I was like, I'm so shit fuck tired and exhausted, and I don't know.
You have a place to
Right
stay?
now, my mom called me and she's
Right.
where the fuck you at?
Right.
Your cousins are right here. I'm like, I'm here where I like it.
So are you at your cousin's house or are you at some other place?
No, I'm near my mom's house.
Okay.
Just hiding out until my energy comes up again. And basically, I don't give a shit about everybody else. Why the fuck should I give a shit about it? So,
Well, you feel something because you went there. You didn't have to go there, but you're now there. So
yeah, well, I need that more than she did.
right.
And my cousins are back at her home, and she's like, "Where are you?" They're right here, and that's the basic thing that I really didn't want to do. It's
So
I
get
slept on
so
the
get
table. I was so jet lagged. I have
Right.
slept, so my like head just went on the table, and when I woke up, I was like, "Holy shit, I'm here again." And yeah.
So are you gonna stay there or are you gonna go other places?
No. Right now I have to go home, meet my cousins,
Right?
do their shit. Their, I don't know, too Swedish for this. So it's gonna suck.
You know, when you're in Sweden, you always say you're too Albanian for Sweden.
But it's true.
It's true. Yep. But what I see is that you're just Lana, and Lana is
Yep.
Albanian
Well,
and
always be
Swedish, and so always just be Lana, and that's why you have your sweetie, because to him you're just Lana. You're not Albanian. You're not Swedish. You're just Lana, which is, there is no other Lana. Period.
Yep.
So you just need a little more sleep. That's all.
What I need to do right now is get the fuck out of here,
Right?
go home,
Yep.
and say hi to the relatives.
Right. And then go back to bed.
Yeah.
And then go back to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can, get a good night's sleep. So when the next morning comes, you can be, refreshed and breathe good and have a good perspective on the 8 days you have left to understand why you're there and what you're going to do and what you're going to bring home with you and how it's going to make you whole. I mean, that's really what you're going there to do, is to make yourself whole. To bring the different
This is not my home.
right. So,
That was
but you can do it. I mean, you can bring
really
your.
don't understand the whole bullshit here. But
Well, why should you? I mean, when's the last time you were there?
14 years ago.
Yeah, so that's and then before then, how many years?
Before.
Yeah, before the 4 years, how many years were you not there? I mean, you've been in.
I have no respect for these people.
Well, it's I mean, is it our place to judge anyone's respect? Or I mean, Lana, no one can, rise to your abilities, really, and so you should not really judge them because they can't. They're not on. It's like apples and oranges. It's like they're having a hard enough time just doing what they're doing, even if they're being being middle class or whatever they're being. They're having a hard enough time just doing that. So.
Well, shut up.
Just like I said,
Thunder.
it's an opportunity to see. I mean, every time I hurt myself. I don't hurt myself, but I hit my thumb with that hammer. Well, I won't do that again. I try to learn from every obstacle I have, and right now is where you are is a great learning environment for you. Meaning in that you don't have to judge your family or the people in the town that you're at or the country that you're at, but you can put yourself into perspective so you can appreciate every day that you have. You know,
I
I know you do. I know you do.
but I'm gonna. Also, I mean, like I'm so exhausted,
Yeah.
and I know that.
Well, it's hard to do anything when you're exhausted, so you need sleep. So I'm going to let you go, kid. Okay? I'll talk to you later. I'll call you. I'll call you in a day or two after you've rested and you've done stuff there. Maybe Monday. I'm going to have my eyes worked on Friday, so Saturday, Sunday I won't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
So Monday, Tuesday I'll try and get a hold of you. When are you heading back to Sweden? What day? Next the week after next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk to you in between there. Love you.
That's right. Love you.
Yep. Bye. That's one. And she's in Kosovo. And she's Albanian Swedish, right? Born in Albania, and moved to Sweden when she was a child. I mean, you know her story if you're part of the contract.
That's a switch.
What's a switch?
Albania is switch.
Sweden. Sweden.
Oh, Sweden.
Sweden. Yeah, well, that is. Woo!
Yeah,
Woo!
pretty much different.
Yes, Jan makes a difference. Oh, let's see. 1:42, almost 2:00. So, guys, did you just walk in? Is it sunny still outside?
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? There's two of you there. Right. Just talking out loud made me tired. Oh. Up. Beaver Dam. Yeah. Is that what he 421 or 321?
Well, where they split 321 down there away to Bedwell.
So it's off of 321. Is it past where that gas station is? When you're heading towards
Yeah. That's Cove Creek.
yeah, where you turn to the light.
Yeah. It's 22 miles. Yeah. It's one way. We've had it for 40 years.
Oh, that's nice. Sorry.
3 acres.
Well, yeah, that's nice.
$7,500.
Oh, that's cool.
With a stream. And a flat hardwood.
Well, that's good.
We got a really good
Yeah, that's pretty good. When how long you had that?
deal.
4
40 years.
years? 40. 40.
When we bought it, Mr. Whitaker would only take one payment a year. That's it. 1,000 a year. That was it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Hard to find a deal like that anytime. All right.
Right. I guess he got too much income.
Yep.
He wants to
Are you from this neck of the woods, or did you come from Florida?
Around town. South of town.
South is east. I used to live in a place called Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. South and on the east side. It's one of the last chunks of beach that you can walk onto off of A1A.
Yeah, it's getting less and less.
Yeah, oh man, Florida's just going to sink into the sea.
Like when we're at it's about 100,000.
Where in the place near Tampa?
Yeah, it's about $30 from there.
So are you in the middle part of the cowboy part of Florida?
Well, we're near Kissimmee.
Right.
About 20 miles south of Kissimmee.
Right. So are you near the Okeechobee?
We're way north of that.
Way north of
We're about where we're a little bit south of Daytona if you go a line.
that. Right. Straight across. Yeah. I used to hang out in Daytona a long time ago, but now it's so. I mean, Daytona's always been sleazy, but it's beyond sleazy. Beyond. There was a great hotel that I always stayed in called the Viking Hotel in Daytona. Yeah. So there's nobody there, and it's pushing to. Hey guys, can you keep an eye on my? I'm gonna go visit the little boys. So I'm gonna sign off, and maybe I'll see you later this afternoon. Okay? Yeah. That's what I.